You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Pet Psychic Aminah. We are live streaming on Business Talk Radio and social media. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. I'm a certified life and career coach. Our show is going to be a lot of fun and good information as well. Let me bring my co-host out, Aminah. Welcome.
Hi. I love our Fridays.
I know, it's so much fun. And I do like the theme music. It kind of gets you in a good mood, right?
Absolutely. Got to start the weekend right, talking to your pets or talking to your family. We can help with all of that, you and I. We've got mad skills and we've got amazing guests, and we're mixing it up constantly. And I've got to meet a couple of your others online, and it's great. So as you'll know, everybody, we're everywhere. Dr. Jacalyn's everywhere. We announce this every Friday, so join us.
Why don't you give a little introduction and background about you, Aminah, and the value that you're bringing to this beautiful world?
Gosh, I hope so. I am gifted just by the way I was put together. God decided that I could hear things sometimes other people can't. So when I was a very small child, I thought everybody did. So I always spoke in the first person. I'm the youngest of 5. So it's like, don't do that. He said, blah, blah, blah. And I'm talking about the cat said, the dog said, the lizard said. I grew up in the desert, that kind of stuff. I loved horny toads. They're fabulous in the high desert. But I had to put them back because I don't know how to catch bugs. And I would never want him to miss dinner. All of this was great for me and all that type of stuff. So what I help with is that conversation. I also have a gift in speaking to not only animals who have passed away, but people who have passed away. You'll have to ask God why my gift works that way. But I can help with that conversation if there's unresolved things or you want to know how they're doing, and all of that, the animal, the person, I can help with that. I'm also a trainer. I have years and years of experience of training animals and working with therapy animals, and also in the vet clinic. So my education is broad so that I can say, yeah, it's time to go to the vet. You've got symptoms of this or this or this. So I can give you that direction.
Thank you for sharing that, Aminah. That was very informative.
Good.
Can you share with us a little bit about our guest today?
So Sean Imler is, for me, I hope I can hear him laughing off screen, is an enigma wrapped in all those sayings that go together that I can never remember, because he's so fascinating that I have only been fortunate to hear him speak just a couple of times, where a lot of my other guests, it's been multiple times or on a private conversation. We've had a few that are brand new to me that have asked to come on, and I'm here to support those people that really want to get that help out to other people. The young man, for example, that we talked about stuttering, the very first one we did, he came through somebody who knew somebody, and I said, yeah, come, because what an important topic.
He was a great guest, by the way.
Yeah, wasn't he?
He was a great guest, yes.
Yeah, and we had so much fun. You guys don't even know what happens in the background. It's like, no, close the blind. No, move to the left. No, do this. Because I have a lot of experience with that. And it's like, no, can't see you. Keep going. Sit on some books, and he was a tall guy. So we had so much fun. Anyways, the things you guys missed. So Sean has the most interesting studies and background, and I'm not going to even attempt to describe what he does, because I really want you to hear about the healing and the Native American background. And I absolutely adore these people and their lives and how genuine they live. If you're going to be an animal person like me, who better to talk to than a Native American? Of any nationality, because they are so grounded in earth, sun, sky, God, earth. And they understand what I understand is animals feel, talk, communicate. I especially when you're trained as a trainer, all I need to see is one of my cats tip an ear. And I'm like, no, don't do that. And it's like, what did you hear? Well, he didn't say anything. This time it was body language. In the animal world, body language is king. And I am really attuned to that because I'm interested. So I've watched it for a lifetime, worked with tigers, worked with lions, worked with wolves. When I was 14, I was walking a wolf. He was taller than me. And I was like, he wants to rip my arm off. There we go. But he'd been abused by a man. And so I was the only woman in the team that needed to walk him. And he loved it. And we loved it.
It's
but
fantastic.
Again, respect of saying, take off my arm, go ahead, because I'm letting go.
So many great stories. Let's bring Sean onto the program.
Please.
Hi, Sean. Welcome.
Hello.
Timing's everything, right?
Absolutely.
I'm caught me with my mug in my hand.
Hey, you know, it'd only been more fun if it was dribbling down the front.
Yes,
and come on.
With all this hair, it gets everywhere.
I know. You know, you just hide the snacks. I understand.
Yeah, I know. There's always dessert for later.
Now, Sean, is this growth COVID, or is this how you normally are?
Okay, I have not seen my chin since I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
Literally. And
I was like, I've never seen the chin.
Yeah, this is my 30-year anniversary since the last time I shaved my face.
Wow. Congratulations. That's worth a celebration.
Your dermatologist would be proud.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
Absolutely.
Who knows what I'm hiding?
What's been left in there from years past? Who knows?
Yeah.
I know, right? A car.
It's part of the autopsy. Let's see. Who's in there still?
I know. Actually, I wonder, do I even have a chin anymore? I'm not even sure. It might be a portal to another universe. I don't know.
Exactly.
Right. It could be anything. Yeah. Use your imagination.
We warned the audience. These are great shows.
We always have fun. This show and the dating show, it's all about dating. It's always laughter. It's just, I love it. I love it. So,
yeah.
Sean, tell us where you're joining us from and a little bit about who you are and what you do.
I'm in Campbell, California, which is next to San Jose. And what do I do? Huh. That keeps morphing. So my background, I was in corporate life for a lot of years, and then I had the opportunity to leave and not look back. And that happened around 2010. And I went into a healing practice, and I tell you, it was not something that I'd expected to do. I had no intention of it. I actually was on my way to becoming a professional musician. And suddenly that changed, and I found myself going into practice as a healer and a past life regression therapist. And and then, I found that I was really good at past life regression. I went and got certification in hypnotherapy. And then I found, coaching would be a nice thing to add on to this, and kind of added that on. And all the time studying all these different techniques for energetic healing and shamanism, and then found myself in a teacher training program to start teaching shamanism. And then I wrote a book on it. And now I'm doing a lot of astrology, interestingly, and all these things just kind of merged together in a way that I never would have been able to decide that I wanted to do it. Like, I think you're following your path when things just kind of drop in your lap, and you're like, what do I do with this? And you just do something with it. It's when and it's all come rather effortlessly in a way. So after really studying life's purpose astrology, which is what I call it, some might call it shamanic astrology, it's partly evolutionary astrology, I realized that there's a way to determine your life's purpose and to really see it clearly, like what the soul comes into this lifetime with previous skills from other lifetime experiences, and then what this lifetime is directing you toward, and what you can, I call this the point of fulfillment, but what will bring you to being in a fulfilled state. It's living out your life's purpose, living out the right path. And when you're in that path, everything just comes in alignment for you. It's not that it comes easy, because sometimes our greatest challenges are actually the things that we're trying to develop in this lifetime, but it feels right. Even if it's challenging, even if there's a lot to overcome and there's obstacles that get presented to you, it feels right when you overcome them, when you build the acumen, when you support yourself with the right teachings. The universe colludes to support you as well. So on top of that, I also have an online course that's an offshoot of my book that teaches spirit contact and different forms of meditation. And I just last weekend launched a new program called Building a Sacred Business. And it's based on the premise that business for business sake is an old model, and it's time to leave that behind. As we move into the Aquarian age, it is time to recognize that business takes resources from the planet and from human beings, and it should be responsible for, I hate using that word should, and I always try to come up with something else to say, but I feel very passionately that it should give back. There should be a symbiotic relationship with business, the planet, and the people that it supports and that it draws resources from. What comes to mind is the Enron scandal, like clearly not giving back to the people that were supporting the company, but actually taking from them. That's a perfect example of the shadow side of business. And I want to help support people into bringing the natural earth cycles and natural earth energy back into their business, bringing the principles of spirituality into business so that everybody benefits from the business. It's ecological. The earth is supported, the people are supported, the business itself gets supported only because it's in symbiosis with the people and the earth. So that's in a nutshell what I'm up to.
Wow, you have been busy.
I am busy. Oh my gosh.
And I love how you shared you were in corporate. So was I, left, and then all of a sudden things just start coming to you. And you can see that you're really passionate about what you do, and you're loving it. So congratulations on that as well.
Oh, thank you. I do love it, actually.
How did you ever want to hear Sean talk, or myself? I know, Dr. Jacalyn, you've got this wonderful platform. Dottie came and last week and talked about the Center for Creative Living. Sean and myself and so many other people have done talks through CCL. So they're on YouTube. So if you want to hear more, not just here, you'll be able to go to YouTube under the Center for Creative, or just type in Sean's name, type in my name, and you're going to find all of us.
Yeah, I just did a talk there a couple of weeks ago, actually, that was based on the moon cycles. And that's part of one of the principles in building a sacred business, which is following the moon cycles instead of the sun. So we're all in some sort of symbiosis with the moon, but not necessarily aware of how those cycles work, because since the Julian calendar's taken over and we're following the sun, we don't really pay attention to how the moon cycles affect our ability to manifest things, to be able to generate things, whether our emotions are going to be impacted, whether there's going to be a flow with what we're doing, or there's going to be some natural resistance. So I put this model together to help people tune everything that they do with the cycles of the moon. So you have to pay attention every day and keep a journal to determine how the moon actually affects you personally. But after about 2 or 3 months, you start to see, oh, there's a pattern here. And if you start to work with that pattern, it can support whatever your endeavor is.
That's amazing.
It definitely is. I have some comments on that, but we have to take a break. We do have a comment that someone posted, and I'm going to just tee it up very quickly. What is your opinion on Genshin's impact to your symbiosis? So I'll let you to think on this while we go to commercial break. I also want to announce that you can call in with any questions. If you have something that looks like this, which is a phone, you can pick it up. You can pick it up and you can call us at 609-961-1699. And we will be right back. Stay with us live here on Business Talk Radio and social media. We're glad to have you. And we're going to hear from our sponsors right now.
The world of healthcare is benefiting us in many ways, but the risk of becoming a victim to an airborne infection is increasing at a fast pace too. There are threats from viruses, allergic pollen, and chemicals which cause you loss of health, income, business, mental health, family and friends. All are at stake. One solution to this threat are the BV Air Sanitation Placide-based systems. When you call our team on 0208 104 3253, you find out about the amazing protection available. Protection that uses certified Battlefield, tested, standard and customized air disinfection systems for your personal and business use. Each system uses a filterless technology known as Placide, which attacks all airborne particles with microlighting to destroy and eliminate viruses and other harmful particles in your office, transport and home. You also benefit from extra bonuses such as low running and maintenance costs, no regular filter and part changes. You get to work with our trained experts and professional staff and be made aware of the latest in airborne protection and disinfection strategy. Keep yourself healthy by working with our trained experts and Placide virus killing systems, which keep you safe from airborne viruses. BV Air Sanitation Limited. We save lives, save businesses, and prevent infection. Schedule your free consultancy call and virus protection checklist. Call 0208 104 3253 or connect to us on www.bvbuster.com.
The world is changing, and your company needs to change with it. Whether it's procurement, employment, marketing, or customer service, it's now more important than ever for your business processes to be inclusive to people with disabilities. Hi, I'm Trish Robichaud with Changing Paces, and I'm here to tell you that making your business processes accessible to people with disabilities is simply good for business. Accessibility and inclusion are the law. But here's what you may not realize. Disability inclusion is an opportunity, not an obstacle. In fact, a recent 4-year study found that companies that fully embrace disability inclusion had a 30% higher profit margin than those that didn't. Your investment in staff disability inclusiveness training can pay off in areas like innovation, brand recognition, as well as customer and employee satisfaction and loyalty, not to mention productivity and profitability. At Changing Paces, we can help you make that happen for your business. Our experts have real-life experience that will help your team gain insight and best practices they won't get anywhere else. And we can help you create a customized training program to bring your organization into compliance with local and industry regulations. This topic is very close to my heart for me, very personal. Dealing with the challenges of MS for the past 25 plus years and having lost my job as a result of my diagnosis back then, I've made it my mission to bring disability out of the darkness and create a more welcoming environment for people of all abilities. As a pioneer in the field of inclusiveness, our company developed and implemented one of the first accessible customer service training programs in Canada. We provide complete online training solutions that blend with your branding, your policies, and your systems. Between our disability subject matter experts and our technical partners, we can provide you with both the content and the platform that you need to create an evergreen training program that empowers your people while it transforms your organization and your company culture. In short, we make disability inclusion easy in all parts of your business. Contact us now for a quote or consultation at info@changingpaces.com. Your bottom line will thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hello and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Pet Psychic Aminah. There she is presenting her and our guest, Sean Imler. It's great to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Before we went to break, we did get a comment from someone at Twitch TV, and I'll just share it now. I don't know if anybody wants to ask for further clarification or if we want to comment at all.
I don't know what this is. Sean, this would be in your venue, I believe.
I'll comment. We'll see where this goes. Symbiosis, in the way that I was talking about it, is I could have chosen a different word, which would be to be in resonance with or in synchronicity with, as in two beings or two energies that work well together, as opposed to symbiosis in this way that it is used in Genshin's Impact, which is more of a virtual reality type of environment where different species can merge together to create a symbiotic effect and have a different type of species. And so what I'm talking about is actually different than that. What I'm talking about is being in resonance with, meaning that your vibration, the frequency that you are emitting based on the energy system that you are utilizing, whether you want to call that your chakra system or your meridian system, and being in alignment with, meaning in terms of the moon is going through different phases. It's sitting at different positions around the earth and reflecting the sun, and the positioning of the moon creates a field of energy that you might be working well with or may not be so compatible for you.
Well, bravo on that.
I need a dictionary just to figure out what he said.
I know.
But I get the feeling. I understand the word symbiosis and all that kind of stuff. So yay for me. I went to college.
Yay. Now we have a follow-up question. So you mentioned species, the pet psychic. What is your opinion of, is it payment? I don't know this.
I don't know this word, payment. Sean, do you know what this word is?
Well, I think going back to, I think that this is a reference to a symbiotic species created from two different species. So, we're talking about a virtual reality and a physical reality. And, some would say that we're actually living in an illusion of a different reality that's created, what proof is there that we're actually not in a virtual reality right now? So if humanity can create something like a virtual reality from electricity, which is essentially what computers are, they're something that runs on electricity. If we can create that, what are we using in our minds and in our intellect that is giving us the ability to create that environment? Well, some would say, well, it's the macrocosm and the microcosm. We're the macrocosm to the virtual reality that we're creating from computers, which is the microcosm. But who's to say that we didn't learn that from another system, meaning that maybe we're in a virtual reality right now, creating another virtual reality as things go from the large down to the small, from the macrocosm down to the microcosm. So that reality that he's talking about with Paimon is just another ability for us to be creator beings. And so does that, I think the question, Aminah, might be if we're able to create a virtual, realistic, symbiotic creature, let's say the merging of a snake and a cat, okay? And then that snake cat, I'll call it, has a personality, attributes from both snakes and cats. What would it be? What would it be like? Could you communicate with it? And what attributes would it give back to you if you were to be in relationship with it? It's a totally abstract question, right?
But very interesting. And I really, really appreciate 1N3RNETC. I don't have his name for asking, because I looked it up, and yeah, they have many examples of a horse mixed with a person who's a man but a woman, in all of this. In my world, you were talking platypus. Unicorns don't exist, so that doesn't count. But
Yeah.
you're talking many types of animals that already are very confused. And those are God-given, made, and that kind of stuff. Because a platypus is it aquatic or is it land? Well, it's both, and that type of stuff. A snake, for example, I have clients who have snakes, and I have had them, so I can talk caging and everything. But the conversation with a snake is very short, because their cognitive ability is very instinctual. It's food, got to go potty, got to breed. And so it's very on these lines of, what do I need? Where do I go? When you get to the higher thinking animals, specifically, you're going to go, of course, dolphin. You're going to go your cats and dogs. You're going to go, all the way down where you can really work with sign language. You can work with rescue. You can have them as support, because they. Carnivores specifically, really, now omnivores have it too, but I'm going to just use this as an example. Your dog knows when you're angry, sad, mad, happy, glad. Any strong emotion, they're there. They're also going to know when you have cancer. A lot of people don't understand that a pig is one of the most intelligent animals out there. They understand a reflection is themselves. This is a huge cognitive deal. They know when you have cancer also. If your animal starts butting you in the leg and the breast and the arm, wherever, go to the doctor, please, because there's something going on. So we're talking about evolution. Absolutely. Can I talk to him? Yes. But sometimes if it's a snake, I'm going to use one word. I'm going to use cage. He's going to show me what he likes about or doesn't like about the cage, because he's going to go, well, the only reason she'd bring it up is if there was an issue, and that type of stuff. It's learning who you're speaking to. And I think, Sean, and I'm not going to assume, in your world, in your field, it's the same thing. You've got to learn the language of what you want to bring in and what you want to give back and what you want to bring in. I had to learn body language. I had to learn language. Yes, I hear what they have to say, but animals who are spoken to, pets specifically, who are spoken to every day, oh, stop doing that. Oh, you're so cute. All that. They get all that energy. They get all that zen. They hear those words over and over and over. How come a dog sits when you tell them to? Because they hear that hard S. They don't care about the rest of the word, and they know what's expected of them. Now, a cat, they're an independent soul. They're going to look at you like, yeah, sure, and walk away, because that's their makeup. That's who they are.
I do have a question, as someone who is not an intuitive. Where, so for the two of you, where do you have intersection? Like where you are doing the same type of services, and where are you completely different, if that makes sense?
Is that for Sean or me?
It's for both of you.
Okay, say it again.
So in other words, is both of you are intuitives. Both of you can communicate with people other than me, people, animals, whatever it is. So where in your practice is there overlap, and where are you completely different in terms of your businesses?
Sean, I'll let you go for it.
Okay.
First.
And I'll answer that question still in the frame within the last question about symbiosis, because I think it's a good way to articulate this. My perception is dealing in the symbolic and the mythological. So when I take in information intuitively, I take it in a way that needs to be translated. So I will get sometimes very bizarre imagery that I have to understand that I am taking the images that I'm seeing just like I would take them in a dream. So I think most everybody has at least one dream they can remember, And usually the thing they remember about it is it didn't make sense. And my experience is to make sense of that. It's to take the symbology that the subconscious mind is projecting, that the conscious mind is remembering and taking out of the dream state, and then determining what is it in a person's world, everyday conscious reality, that the subconscious was taking symbols to represent certain things because it wanted to paint a picture or a story of some sort. I interpret that. And the way that that fits back into symbiosis is that if we're to merge a couple of species into a new species, that has a symbolic nature to it. It represents something to us. So in the example of the snake, a snake is very close to the earth. A snake goes into the earth, which means that it's very connected to the thing that we would call Gaia, Mother Earth herself. And so if a snake comes to me in a dream, I might interpret it as the energy associated with Mother Earth, because the snake is also associated with our spine. And that is the area in which Kundalini, which is our natural life force, arises in our bodies, connected to our nervous system. So I would take the image of the snake and I would say, oh, okay, this might be how I'm drawing life force from Mother Earth. One of the principles in mythology that also came to me is the merging of man and an animal. And in mythology, there's Chiron, who's the centaur. He's half horse, half man. And he has a certain embodiment of healing capacity, because in mythology, he was wounded and had to heal his own wound, but he was never ever really able to. But the journey taught him the art of healing. And then he becomes the healer teacher to a lot of the other Greek gods. So the way that I do this is I'm always reading into the mythology and reading into the symbolism that sits behind things. And my messages don't come literally. So that would be my expression. That's how I am tuned. And then Aminah can speak to how she is.
Thank you.
Mine are literally, Dr. Jacalyn, make sure you give me a fingers up, because I know I really want to respect the commercials, because those people are really, really important, and I honor that. So just let me know. And I can answer his question in more detail. I'm going to speed through. I can't actually see your picture of your pet, and that's irrelevant for me. I'm also empathetic. I'm an empath. And so I can feel your words. I can feel what you're talking about. Kitty is, you obviously talk to your cat, because he talks really, really well. So I love that. Please, everybody talk to your pets. Because when it comes to trainers and pet psychics, but all of us, we do better when you are actually communicating with your animals and they don't look at us like, what? And you're trying to speak English to somebody who speaks dog or cat. Cats are a little bit tougher because they're very, very independent. But let me, the gas issue. I'm going to go straight down to the gas issue, if that's okay. So the gas issue is being relieved by jumping on your wife's chest. Okay, so it's a dietary problem. Kitty, most of us cannot gas on call unless you're maybe a 16-year-old boy, or I don't know. I don't want to wipe all boys. Sorry, Sean. I don't know how to do that on purpose, but I remember being in high school and middle school, and the boys seemed to be able to burp and gas whenever they wanted to. But that's another story. So Kitty is getting something in his diet that is creating too much gas in his system. And what he has found is that he very much loves you, and so he wants to be close to you. But by jumping there, he's getting relief. So we need to go back to, you decide if it's a vet visit or it's a dietary issue, something that you're giving him is causing the gas.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you for addressing that. And we are going to go to commercial break. Stay with us. We've got a lot of really good conversations still left. We'll be right back on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents Pet Psychic Aminah.
Hi, my name is Zane Carson Caruth, and I'm the author of this book, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever.
Reading is magic. Studies have shown that reading to your children lays the foundation for greater success in life. Reading helps develop language and vocabulary skills. It helps improve memory, and it encourages curiosity and inspires creativity. The benefits are immeasurable, and as a parent, you'll benefit too. In only 10 or 15 minutes a day, you'll be creating more memories and a bonding experience that will last for years to come. So take time to read to your children. Read them books about things that engage and interest them. Tales of fairies and magic fascinate children, and as everyone knows, the Tooth Fairy is at the top of the list. If your child loves magic, wands, adventure, and what child doesn't, you'll love reading them books from the trademarked series, The World's First Tooth Fairy Ever. Follow along as Bella, the world's first tooth fairy, accidentally starts the tooth fairy tradition. Learn the tricks of being a professional tooth fairy in the book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. Your child's imagination will soar as you read the adventures of Bella and her magic wand. These wonderful books are available at worldsfirsttoothfairy.com and at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Walmart.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jacalyn. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. And here to tell us more is the creator of A Better You, Al Sini. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's always a pleasure working with you and everyone out there. You know, you might be a coach working with individuals professionally or personally, or you might be a consultant working with businesses, or you might be a trusted advisor specializing in an area like finance, let's say, or the law or healthcare. Whatever of those roles you relate to, you all have one thing in common, and that is you're working every day to help people become better versions of themselves, a better you. And Dr. Jacalyn's A Better You program is an opportunity for you to express your expertise in a particular area for 15 minutes in front of an audience of people who are looking for help from people like you.
Yep.
So, Dr. Jacalyn, maybe you can tell everybody how they can learn more about this.
It's so easy. You go to abetteryou.tv and you sign up to book your session.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most authoritative show on the planet, and the other stations are tuned into.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Welcome back to our show, live here on Business Talk Radio and social media. I'm just laughing to myself. I'm really glad that when my partner Al Sini and I picked out that theme music, that I really love it, because I hear it all the time. Sometimes up here, I'll be downstairs and all of a sudden the show just starts and I hear the music again. Well, before we went to break, I think we had some really heavy conversation going on here. and I appreciate both of you. You're both obviously very wise, very bright. What are you seeing in terms of any type of trends, anything that you're concerned about with the pandemic, and people abandoning their pets, people moving, people being concerned about they're living in a new place, or they're going to live in a new place and they've got pets, they've got animals, and just what are you thinking based on the pandemic and how it impacts pet ownership?
Sean, do you have any?
Sure. Yeah. I'll go.
Yeah, because Sean's got a lot of insight coming from a whole different direction. So we're going to start with the fun part.
I do a lot of coaching work, and it's funny that you would ask that question, because just recently I've actually had 2 different clients that were moving from California, one all the way across the country to the very tip of the East Coast, and another to the desert. And both of them had 2 cats. And, I think one of the things that, in my experience, people that have pets during the pandemic have become even more close to their pets, because they've not been getting any human interaction, physical, face-to-face human interaction. A lot of people have been shut down, closed down in their homes, and these 2 clients by no means wanted to leave their animals behind. And they had to go to great lengths, which meant actually driving and not being able to transport their things and just fly in the way that they would have wanted to. They went out of their way to make sure that they were going to travel with their pets and not leave them behind. So I have talked to a number of people, though, that are blessed to have their pets with them during this time.
And Sean, again, what Dr. Jacalyn, you're going to find, I'm sure you do in your own life, but Sean and I are well aware of this. Topics come up in a day-to-day conversation, like with somebody random in a grocery store line, if I was closer than 12 feet, that kind of stuff. But yeah, exactly. How's your wife? Oh, you don't know me. I don't know you. Yeah, but I see every. Anyways, it would be so inappropriate. But yeah, I have been accosted with, I need to go tell somebody something. I'm thinking, really? Right now? Here? This is not cool. So you play those things, and what Sean just said is just my biggest worry, and I want to put that concern out there so people think about it and prevent it. The shelters are really great, and they're half empty, and there's nobody to adopt, and it's hard to get in there and they've got all their kittens fostered out and that type of stuff. What I worry about is after. What I worry about is getting back to life, getting back in the office, getting back to socializing. Animals get dumped on a good day. When we adopt emotionally to fill a hole, to say, well, I should have been married by now, I should have 5 kids by now, should, just put something in, right? My career should have been better. I'm going to get a pet that's going to love me. Do you hear the strength I'm saying? Going to, did. I have to be really careful about the news I read, the social media I read. I belong to Nat Geo and 5,000 other things. So I'm always on the tip of what's going on in the entire animal world, because I'm passionate about it, of course. But watching somebody the other day, and I apologize for saying this, but it severed my soul, and I want to ding your soul so you go, don't ever do this, about a man who was mad at his dog for chewing up a newspaper, or something that a dog does, especially if he's not trained, and they had hung him up on the fence. And luckily the neighbor took pictures, sent it to the police, blah, 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 blah. But I came across the picture that she sent, which was live. And it's too much for an empath, much less it's too much for me hearing the dog going, what the heck is going, I love you. And what did I do? This is what happens when people don't know what they're doing, or they're not training, or you're adopting, and then you just go, oh, well, I'll just send them back to the shelter. These are lives that have every right to exist, and every right to be loved, and and a million other things. So I have to protect myself with news and all that. Do I still see it? Yes, but I have to do, as Sean will explain, I think in better language than my floppy stuff, is I have to ground myself. I have to push that negativity out. I have to not take it in, because it could kill me. It could kill my mental balance. It could ruin more than my day. I work with catch and release. I worked with spay and neutering. I talk about it constantly, and I want responsible pet ownership. In a pandemic, there's a lot of not responsible pet ownership, and I'm terrified what we're going to look like when we all get back to life, because most people will just abandon their animals somewhere and say, oh, it's not my problem. And it happens now every day. The rescues are all out there. You can watch a million videos of people just dumping puppies, kittens, and full-grown animals. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for us. So why do we preach spay and neutering? Why do we preach, love them? So what Sean just said is so deeply heartwarming, because they made a commitment for life. They made a commitment not to fly because their animals needed something else. And you need to keep that in mind. What are you willing to do? Now, we know human children get abused all the time too. So this is not just to dogs. So be aware that I'm well aware of that, but I really want to continue to support everybody and say, there is help out here. We can walk you through it. We can do better. I can help you and say, hey, it's time to see a vet. Okay, maybe it's a training issue. One of my clients had a horrible allergy, autistic child at home, and allergies all over. And we got through it. And it was a long haul, but she did the work. She did the work. So that's what you have to do. Do the work.
Thank you so much for your transparency and your share there. I'm wondering, Sean, as a coach, if we look at it from the opposite perspective, that the people who are letting go of their pets because they have to go back to work, or what they're making a conscious decision that that's what they're going to do. If someone were to come to you within the services that you have, could you try to talk someone, help them when they're trying to make a decision about putting their pets out, just letting them go, taking them back? Is that something in your area of expertise?
I don't do a lot of conversations about pets, but what I would say is, if somebody were to come to me and that became an issue attached to some other issue, I would address it in this way. Spiritually speaking, dogs and cats are probably the closest on the evolutionary scale to having the capacity to be like human beings. I mean, the thing that really sets us apart from being animals is that we have free will. We're not still running by the same programming that is just, eating, sleeping, procreation, but we actually decide things for ourselves, and we can create. We have the opportunity to logically and rationally view, witness, and make decisions around something. So cats and dogs are the closest to that. And so when you take on an animal that is that spiritually evolved, you need to look at it like this is a child. You wouldn't just give your child up for adoption because you needed to go back to work. So I really do believe that people need to up-level their perception about what this relationship with this animal is and who the animal it represents.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That was amazing. Thank you.
That was spot on. So I'll share that when I got divorced, and I think I might have told you this, I bought a dog because I felt lonely and I felt sad. And then I had to go to work, so I felt bad for the dog. So I bought another dog to keep the first dog company. And then I bought a third dog for no apparent reason. And I had three dogs all at the same time. And thinking back to how I was feeling when I purchased those dogs, they were all show dogs. They were all flown in, and it was, a big deal. I wasn't thinking that they were going to be around for, if I was lucky, 20 some years. I wasn't really in a good place emotionally to be making a decision about getting a pet or two or three. And of course, I'm very glad that I had them. They've all passed away. But I'm wondering, people are making decisions, have made decisions, may still be making decisions from a place of being cooped up, being in a pandemic, being afraid, being disgusted, being tired, being broke, whatever it might be. And those decisions may have a long-term impact on them. So I'll just throw that out there for either of you to comment on.
Sean, I'm going to let you go with that one, because in your work, you're really going to grasp the more world view. And I'm going to come from the ground, where I'm on the animal and on the earth and or whatever plane. So we're symbiotic completely, but I really like you to talk from that higher plane that you're on.
Well, an animal is an opportunity for growth, in the same way that having children is an opportunity for growth. So if we look at it from the point of view that we're coming to this planet to have an experience that is going to perpetuate our soul's growth in this lifetime, we step into obligations that we create at a soul level before we even drop into being a human being. And that might be to be a parent. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean a parent to a child, another human being. It might be a parent to a plant. It might be a parent to your garden. It might be a parent to fish or cats, whatever it is. What you're actually learning is how to be responsible for that other being, because we have free will and creative expression, and that other being is on its evolutionary path, and we're making the relationship with it. We're designing that relationship with it. We're stepping into the responsibility of the relationship with that being to support it and help it live. And with animals and plants, they're never going to go off to college. So you have to recognize that you're not going to be able to just step away from it when you feel like it. So it's a point of responsibility to recognize that there's an opportunity there, and to not walk away from that opportunity when it gets difficult.
I love that you added plants. Thank you. These things just are amazing when we all get on the same page, because I do talk to the trees and the plants and all of them, because I hear them, I feel them. Sean, you probably do the same. We're close to earth. We're close to all these things, but we've been designed just the way I was put together. I think was just supposed to be that way. I love. Here's my plug for Lowe's. I love the back of Lowe's. They have dollar plants. That's what I can afford. Not the $50,000 one that, is already grown and somebody already trimmed it and tied it to some post or something like that. I buy the half dead, mostly dead, because they don't hire anybody anymore. First of all, an arborist or green person and all that kind of stuff. And nobody waters. So all these plants go to the back. And I get them all, and I fill up my whole patio with them. And I have more fun talking to them and saying, no, we're going to get rid of that leaf, and then you're going to grow another leaf, and put all that good energy into a big. So, Sean, I love that you brought it up, because that's part of our growth, a part of our existence. We all live because we all live together. If the plants don't grow, the animals don't eat, then we don't eat, and the water doesn't. You don't even want to get me on like Yellowstone. I think I've got the right park. Got rid of the wolves. They didn't want them eating the bison. Well, then guess what? All the sheep, the goat, the bison decimated the land, because nobody was culling, which means taking off the young and the old and the sick, and keeping a managed group eating the grass, as opposed to everybody eating the grass. There's a balance. There's a God-given balance, carnivore, herbivore, fish, all that. Mankind, for me, in the pandemic, has become the problem. And we're seeing that bright and shiny right now, with just us all going home and all the animals going, cool, the water, where is it? Venice, with the water in the boats, right? Venice. Yes. One of the first things we heard in the beginning of the pandemic is all the oil from the boats disappeared, and the dolphins and all the fish came back, because we would stop poisoning it. We're losing all the bears, and I'm talking about the polar bears and the snow, because they need that snow. We need the snow. We need the water. If we don't live together, none of us live. And that's same with your pets.
Wow. Amen on that, Aminah.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll get off my soapbox. Here we go.
was-
Thank you, Sean. You're very motivating.
that was great, both of you. Seriously, I want to add my 2 cents, which I took this. I got certified to teach meditation, and I had to adopt the Buddhist philosophy. That you won't kill anything. So I saw the first spider in the house since the weather's starting to change.
Yeah.
Just tiny little black spider, and it was right there. And I looked at it. And I really felt, I'm not an intuitive by any ways, but I really felt like it was saying, please just let me go. And I did. And it was bothering me. I just turned away, and that was the end of it. So we don't have to kill, right?
No. And believe it or not, I'm not a fan of mosquitoes. I have been in every part of the world. And yes, Alaska has giant mosquitoes, and they will eat you. So for me, I love spiders personally. But without that, I have one of those old Christmas cups, the little silo thing somebody gave to me, and I kept it. So we keep that like around the house. We just put the cup, take a piece of paper, put the spider in, walk him outside and say, there's more food out here, I promise. Because I have one rule, not over my head, over the toilet. I don't care where you hang out, just not there. Because I absolutely adore them, because they'll come down.
Is that not over your head and not over the toilet, or just not over your head, over the toilet?
There, over the toilet. Because if they go 4 inches to the left or 4 inches to the right, because our last house we had, for some reason, that bathroom, they were always right over the toilet, and then there was the shower, and then there was another door to another room. And I was like, dude, we had an agreement, left or right. I have the cup. We are leaving. And my girls are like, Mom's talking to the spiders again. I have a great life. Sean has a great life. We know things, and we're having a great time doing it. So it's coexisting and just saying, you know what? Do you like mosquitoes? No, I don't like mosquitoes. The spiders will eat them.
Right.
There is a reason why. And I have the most amazing picture. Someday I'll share it with you, of me holding a tarantula. I was doing an educational course. And when I first took him out of the terrarium, he was like, freedom! And so he's running. So I'm doing this, run. And after a while, he's going, I'm getting nowhere. So he just sat still. And then I had him on my shoulder for the rest of the day. So
I actually saw that picture. And
Did you?
Yes, I think I had a nightmare, and I wanted to call Sean. I wanted to call Sean
an intervention.
Exactly.
Well, the rest of the day I had a hissing cockroach, and they're huge. They're ginormous. They're about 3 inches. And one of the little kids, I said, you could gently touch it. And he went, whoop, and I had never heard it hiss that day. And it went, and I went, well, now we know what that sounds like.
Oh my gosh, this is so much fun and such good information and conversation. But we're at the top of our hour. The time has flown by. Absolutely. So, Sean, I'm going to ask you, we have your banner, but for people who are listening on the radio and people who are watching, what's the best way to get in touch with you, and what are the services that you provide?
Okay. Blueberry Healing is my healing website where you can book an appointment with me. I do coaching on many different levels, hypnotherapy, a lot of different energetic healing techniques, shamanic techniques, astrology, life's purpose astrology, which actually, if you really want to take coaching to the next level, this opens up doors like you would not believe. You will learn things about yourself that you may have had an inkling about, and it will clarify things like nobody's business. So coaching from that perspective, it's like, okay, you think you're this person on the conscious level, and here's all the reasons why, and here is all the things that you didn't know. And once we put that all out on the table, it's so much easier to get to the core of issues and to help bring about healing, whatever it is on the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual levels. My livingasacredlife.com is the online course that teaches you different methods of meditation to work with the psyche, build your intuition, understand how your neurological system and the three minds work. That is the brain, the heart, and the enteric nervous system, just down in the gut. And then take that information as you have built the mechanism to actually contact your spirit guides and to get what I would call direct revelation, which is you can talk to your spirit guides and get information from them that you cannot get from any other human being. Illuminate things like how you do your own personal healing, what career you might move into, whether a relationship is not good or is good for you, allergies that you might have to things, whatever question that you have, to a being like the superconscious that knows more about you than you would ever know about yourself. And you're able to ask it questions and ask for healing. I do those sort of things in past life regression hypnosis as well. I'm a quantum healing hypnosis technique practitioner, which is the past life regression technique developed by Dolores Cannon. And then there's buildingasacredbusiness.com. This is the new program that I just released, which is about developing your business in a symbiotic relationship with the elements of nature, with Mother Earth herself, with the cycles of the moon, with your own personal astrology and soul's purpose, and directing that energy to get the natural flow of energy and support that you need in your career or business, because it's in alignment with your soul's purpose and in an ecological relationship with all of Earth and humanity itself. And then there's my book on Amazon.com, which is Living a Sacred Life. And I think that covers it.
Yes, sir. That does cover it. That's a plethora of information. That's wonderful. We'd love to have you come on a Better You. I think you would be perfect for our Better You platform. So I'll reach out to you about that. Thank you, Sean. It's been great having you on the program.
Very well. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
Thanks,
it's
Sean.
a pleasure.
Love
Thank
having
you.
you.
Take care.
Love having you.
Aminah, what's the best way to reach you?
bridgingworlds.us. Everything you want to know about me. Of course, I'm on Facebook under Bridging Worlds and that type of stuff. It's just fun, silly, funny, all that kind of stuff. But I really want people to check us out next week. I have moved somebody who was going to join us, and it's going to be me offering to do free readings. So thank you, 1N3RNECTC, who asked about the cat and passing gas. I would love to help you with your pet issue, training issue, all that. And we're going to answer questions, talk about things that I really think is important as a pet owner and that kind of stuff. We're going to make it all about pet owners, and you please call in, ask me questions. You can post them ahead of time. I'd rather hear your voice and have you call.
And let's just share that number. I'm going to stream it. It's 609-961-1699. And I look forward to spending part of my birthday with you, Aminah.
Yay!
Next Friday.
What's the last part? 609-961-1699. Great. So I'm going to post that out on all the social media so people have the number and they can call in.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here, Aminah.
Sure.
It's great seeing you.
You too. See you Friday.
See you Friday. Bye. And thank you to everyone who's watching and listening. Of course, we really appreciate your loyalty. We have so many exciting things coming up. We have a program starting at 5 o'clock, which is Stories of Hope, Inspiration, and Overcoming Adversity. And our guest today is Rachel Boehm. And at 6 o'clock, we have the Variety Show with my co-host, Lori Mendelson. And our guest is Lori Rifkin. So please join us for those. I have a book that I'm about to launch. I'm so excited. It's called Behind the Green Screen: How to Find Success in the Live Streaming Broadcasting Business. So that is coming soon. I'm very excited. And then the other thing is we have a Better You. 3 opportunities, lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. 3 opportunities. The first is to come on the show and present a 15-minute lesson. This is a lesson, something that people can learn from. The content creator will give the lesson, then we'll ask them to put together a 5-question quiz. We will do an editing of the intro and outro of the lesson, the clip, put it with the lesson, and send it up to a Better You University where it will be available for sale. And you, the content creator, can have your own playlist of your own material as well as the lessons that you put on this show. Finally, the third opportunity is Journey to a Better You. This is an in-person cruise for 10,000 coaches, consultants, trusted advisors, and their clients. Also people who supply the coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors with their products and services. So we hope that you'll join us there sometime in the fall of next year. We have our advisory board working on it. We're coming up with some great options, and we will start pre-selling very soon. Thank you again for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you at 5 o'clock right around the corner. Bye.